1976. I was 5 years old, and my mother took me to see a movie called Rocky One. And my mother, she's very, very animated. And during the movie, Rocky, he was the main character, and he was a boxer. And he was in the ring and he was fighting Apollo, Apollo Creed. And Apollo Creed was getting the best of him. He was beating him up outside the head, and blood was coming from Rocky. And my mother, being very animated, in the middle of the movie theater, she jumped up and she started screaming at Rocky. She said, "Hit him back, hit him back, hit him back." Now, mind you, in the middle of the movie theater, I was 5 years old. And for some odd reason, that really like interested me. That really amused me. And I was like, wow. And what those guys was doing on the screen, I wanted to do that. And that was my first introduction to boxing. Then 2 years later, 1978, I was 6 years old, and I was 7 years old. And I was in the bed, supposedly, I was supposed to be asleep. My bedtime was 9 o'clock. But I heard coming from my parents' bedroom a familiar sound. I heard my mother say, "Hit him back, hit him back, hit him back." So remembering when I first saw Rocky and I heard her say that, I was like, okay, what is that? What is going on? So I jumped out of my bed and I went to the corner of my parents' bedroom door and I looked around and there was a TV there sitting on the floor. And on that TV was two guys fighting. Muhammad Ali. I'm pretty sure some of you guys heard of Muhammad Ali, but it was Muhammad Ali and Spinks. And it was their second fight. They had already fought one time before. So I went to bed before my parents could catch me watching because, like I said, I was supposed to be in the bed asleep. So I got back in bed and as I'm laying there, I'm looking up in the air and I'm punching up in the air and I'm thinking to myself, I can do that. That's easy. I know I can do that. And that's when the bug of me becoming a boxer, that's when it hit me. And you see, it started with my mindset. Your mindset is a set of beliefs that shape what you may think of yourself. It influences how you think, how you feel, and how you behave at any given situation. And my mindset from the beginning let me know that I can do what I said I wanted to do. I said I wanted to box. I said I knew I can do that. And that's where it started in my mind. So going forward, years later, I was over some friend's house. And as you saw the video, I was watching a Mike Tyson fight. I know you guys, everyone know who Mike Tyson is. I'm watching Mike Tyson fight. And Mike Tyson fight was the main event. Now, usually before a main event, you have other fights before you have the big fight. Mike Tyson fight was the big fight. But there was fights that was played before his fight. One of the fights that was played before his fight, two females. Now, when I, at a young age, wanted to become a boxer, there was no such thing as female boxing. Females, girls didn't fight it. It was unheard of. So that was one obstacle in my way. I wanted to box, but girls didn't even fight. But as I'm watching this fight and I see these two girls fighting, I'm like, oh, females can fight now? They're allowing girls to fight now? When I saw that, I'm like, yes, that's me. I know. I know that's me. That's a sign of saying that, yes, I can do it. It's time. So the fight was on a Saturday. And that first Monday, I went to the gym. I walked in and was looking around and I saw some guys in the corner and they was hitting the heavy bat. Pow, 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 pow. Smile. Like, yeah. In the other corner was some guys and was hitting what we call speed bag. Brr, brr, brr. let your hands go fast. They was going, brrr, hitting me real fast. I was like, okay. And then in the other corner, it was a ring. You got two guys in there, and they was punching each other lights out. They was ah, ah, fighting each other. You call it sparring. And I'm looking around. I'm like, yes, this is where I want to be. This is what I want to do. So now, mind you, female boxing was unheard of, and it was very, very new. So there was no other female in the gym at the time. So the guy came up to me and he was like, "Can I help you?" And I heard him, but I didn't hear him because I'm still looking around in awe, like, wow. He said, can I help you? I was like, oh, yeah, yeah, yeah. Um, yeah, I want a box. He was like, you want a what? I want a box. I come here to box. I want to learn how to box. He was like, okay. So he's looking at me very strangely as to say, why is this girl here in this gym talking about she want a box? I don't know. Maybe he didn't see the fight that I saw to know that girls are fighting now. But anyways, he told me what I needed to get as far as equipment. You need to get you some hand wrap. You need to get you some gloves. You come back tomorrow and we'll get you started. I'm like, okay. So I was happy about it. So the next day I came, I had my gloves, my hand wraps, all the equipment that he told me to get. And he pointed to a bag, a heavy bag. He said, go over there and I want you to practice 1, 2, 1, 2. I said, okay. So I went over there and I gave it all I had. 1, 2, pow, 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 pow. Next day, heavy bag. Okay. Pow, 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 pow. Next day, heavy bag. You know, I'm looking around this gym and I'm seeing all these guys, these boys, these men, and they doing certain things, other things besides hitting the heavy bag. And the coach, he's going to each individual, showing them different moves, showing them what not to do and what to do. He went into the ring with the guys that were sparring, coaching them, telling them, the mistakes that they're making. And so I kind of got a little frustrated because I'm like, why am I not getting the same treatment as the other ones are getting? So I said, excuse me, excuse me. He was like, yes. I was like, so am I gonna learn anything else besides hitting this heavy bag? He was like, so what are you saying? I was like, I want to box. I want to learn how to box, and you're not paying me any type of attention. You're not showing me anything. You put me on this heavy bag, and you don't pay me any mind after that. So he said, well, what is it that you want to do? And so I looked around. I'm like, I'm kind of confused. Like, what you mean? What I want to do? I want to do what you're showing everyone else. So I looked around, and to answer his question, I pointed to the guys that was in the ring sparring, fighting each other. I said, I want to do what they're doing. That's what I want to do. He said, oh, so you want to spar? I'm like, yeah, I want to spar. He said, you think you're ready for that? Now, I have never been in a boxing gym. I had never boxed, but as a young girl coming up, I'm the oldest. Out of 18 grandkids, I'm the oldest grand. And so coming up, I had to defend my cousins. I was always fighting, street fighting, to defend my cousins or defend myself. So I felt that I knew how to fight because, I fought on the street and I won majority of all the fights. And matter of fact, most of the fights that I had was against guys. So I knew how to fight. So when he asked me if I want to spar, I'm like, sure, that's what I want to do. Mind you, street boxing is totally different from boxing. So he said, okay. He said, well, in order to spar, you're going to need special equipment. You're going to need a headgear to protect your head. You're going to need a protector to check to protect your kidneys and if they hit me, way below the belt, to protect that area. No problem. Gotcha. So I went out and I got the required equipment that he told me to get. I came back in and he put me against this guy. He was bigger than I was. He wasn't a young guy. He was a man, a grown man. And at the time, I was 20, 23 years old. And this man, he had been boxing for a while. He wasn't an amateur, meaning just starting out, just learning. He was a professional fighter. And he put me in the ring with this guy. So me, I had no fear. I was ready to go against anybody. I didn't care. And that's because I wanted to box so bad. The passion that I had for it, I was ready to get in it. So I got in there and pow, 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 pow. He hit me to the body. I went down slowly, looking up at him. And as I glanced around the room, like I said, I'm the only female. So the other guys that was there, they was kind of, chuckling. I'm a girl and I just got dropped. And they thought that was kind of funny. What did I do? I jumped straight up. I'm ready. Let's go. Go. Coach said, fight. Pop, pop, pop. Boom. He hit me again. Went down. Oh, went down. Coach looked at me. I jumped back up. Ready. Let's do this again. He say fight. Pop, pop. Boom. Third time I went down again. I jumped back up. Coach said, whoa, whoa, whoa. That's enough. That's enough for today. I say, but coach, he said, no, that's enough for today. He said, you come back another day. I said, okay. So as I got out the ring, everyone was looking at me and, they kind of laughed a little bit. And my pride was hurt. So I went into the bathroom and shed a couple of tears, but I went back to that mindset, how I saw myself. I'm a boxer. I know I can do this. I'm going to do this. So I got myself together, wiped my face off, went back out. I looked at coach in his eye. I said, Coach, what time shall I be back tomorrow? He said, huh? I said, what time shall I be back tomorrow? He said, you really think you want to do this? I said, no, I don't think. I know. I know I want to do this. And not only am I going to do this, I'm going to become a world champion one day. And after saying that, after making that comment out of my mouth, it was a year and a half after me making that comment that I became a world champion. And not only am I a world champion, I'm a current 5-time world champion. Now, you might say, wow, that's a lot. Yeah, it was a lot. And it wasn't easy. I want you to understand that anything in life you're going to be successful at. I don't care if it's being a boxer, a writer, a singer, a dancer, an engineer, a scientist, a lawyer. You want to be successful at anything you decide that you want to do in life. There's three things that you should have. And that's passion, tenacity, and persistence. We already talked about the mindset. Mindset is how you look at yourself, how you see yourself, how you perceive yourself. And after you see yourself a certain way, then you got to go forward. Passion, that's a strong feeling or emotion, or love, or liking, or desire of something or someone. My passion for boxing, I went to that gym, and no matter how he treated me, no matter what they did to me in that ring, my passion for boxing was such a way that I didn't care. I'm going to do whatever it takes. I did whatever it took to become a boxer. Tenacity, that's determination or being very determined. A person that don't give up, that don't give up easily. Every time he knocked me down in that ring, I was determined to get up, and I got it. It wasn't easy, you know. My my head was like, this guy is dropping you. Everybody's laughing at you. You stay down. No, I was determined to show them that even though he had more skills than I had, even though he was better than I was determined to show them that this is where I belong. That tenacity, that's where tenacity comes in play. And then you got persistence. You continue in spite of difficulty or opposition. In other words, no matter how hard it may be or it may become, you keep going. Becoming a world champion is not easy. I had to train hours and hours and hours beyond time to be the best. Sometimes my friends were like, come on and hang out with us. No, I have to train. And not only did I have to train, but being a grown up, I had bills to pay on top of working a 9 to 5 job. After I finished working, I had to go to the gym and I had to train, eat, sleep, work, train. That was my life. Why? Because of the passion I had for boxing and the determination of becoming a world champion. Passion, tenacity, persistence. Those are the three things that you must have in order to be successful in life and to be a world champion. And like I said, that mindset. I knew I wanted to box, and I told him that I was going to become a world champion. I saw myself as a world champion, and I worked my way until I became not only a one-time world champion, five-time world champion. I can do it. You can do
Wow. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. That's, that's amazing. That's amazing. All right. I'm sure some of y'all have some questions for her. So if you can just raise your hand there and I'm sure Chevelle will be happy to answer a few questions for you. Ah, gosh. Mindset. Everything has to do with mindset, doesn't it? And you saw that vision when you were young and you went over it. Conrad, I saw you unmuted yourself there. You have a question?
Yes, Stanley, I wanted to ask Chevelle, when was the first time she became the world champion? And how long did this take her to practice? Because she says she joined the gym, that was in 1978, and she was 7 years old by then. And when did she do professional boxing? Like, when did she start by then? Because I want to see the range. Why I'm asking this, it is because most of the times you want to pass so fast. You want, when you go to the gym, then faster, you want to become the world champion. And if you don't persist, then you end up failing because you find yourself taking so long. So how long did it take you within that process?
Right. Well, when I was 7, that's when I saw the fight of Muhammad Ali and Spinks. And it wasn't until it was, you see, when I went to the gym, I first went to the gym to start training or ask about training. I was 23 years old. So let's see, 7 take away from 23, 8, 6, but 16 years later, from the time I saw Muhammad Ali Spinks and going into the gym to train, I was 23 years old. Now, I trained for a year and a half. After a year and a half, I trained, and then I fought my first fight. Okay, I didn't have any amateur background, and the reason why an amateur means it's almost like practice fight where you wear your headgear and you go against someone else, but you're not getting paid. Professional, you get paid to fight. So I went to the amateur fights, but no one would fight me. So I turned pro. I turned pro after a year and a half of going to the gym for the first time when I was 23 years old. 2 years after that, 2 years from when I first turned pro is when I won my first world title. And I won my first world title after fighting 5 fights. My 5th fight is when I fought for a world title. So it took me a total of 3.5 years from the time I started boxing to fight for a title.
And within that,
and that's really unheard of.
within that time, had you
Sorry.
become a winner before? Because from the background and the research, it says that you have 30 wins, and within these 30 wins, you have 13 knockouts. So had you passed as a winner within that time, or you became a world champion without even winning in these other small competitions?
Now, my first professional fight, I won, and in the first round, I knocked her out in the first round. My second fight, I actually lost my second fight. My third fight, I won. I think by knockout. My fourth fight, I won. I think by knockout. And my fifth fight is when I fought for the world title, and I also stopped her in the seventh round.
I think my questions are already answered. Maybe if there is any other question from another person, I can see Technocam on 12. That is for Nathi. Do you have any question? Yes, please go on.
Yeah. Yeah, all right. I came in late, but it was really a nice submission from our guest speaker. My question for you is really thank you for enlightening about how you become a world champion. But the challenge is always financial. Yeah, someone has a mindset to be a world champion, but I believe it takes also financial challenges. For example, you go to the gym, you have to pay the coaches. How did you overcome such challenges, and how can you advise such people with bigger dreams, but you find that the mindset is ready, but financial constraints? What advice can you give to such people like us, some of us here? Thank you.
No problem. Now, I am also a person of faith. I believe in Jesus Christ. And I also believe that if you have a gift or if you have a desire, okay, if God put a desire in your heart and you're very passionate about it, and your mindset is showing, hey, this is what I want to do. You do whatever you can that's in your will and your power to make it happen. And I'm a firm believer that God will send people in your life to make whatever dream that you have, make it come true, make it possible for you to live in that dream, to live in that opportunity, to live in that moment. You have to have faith, number one. You have to have prayer. The relationship with God and prayer and faith, that's number one. Once you have those things and you do whatever you can to do to make it happen, God will send those right people in your life. Now, with me, as far as money was concerned, I did have a 9 to 5. So I was able to pay for, whatever I needed to pay as far as to go to the gym. Now, when my faith and when God comes into play, I didn't have a promoter. I really didn't have a manager. And it's hard in boxing business if you don't have a promoter. A promoter is the one that puts on the fight. I will be his fighter. And he will put on the fights, and that way I can stay consistent. I can stay, fighting. Manager is the one that goes out and look for fights for me. I didn't have none of those things. I didn't have a lot of money to pay for a fight to get on a show, but I trained hard. And by me training hard and doing what I could do to make my dream come true, God made it a way where I was getting phone calls say, hey, would you like to fight on this card? We're looking for a fighter to fight on this card. We'll pay for you to come. We'll pay for your stay. We'll pay for your food. I didn't have any money, but those people was coming to me. They was coming to me. They was looking for me. So do what you can do, you know, with the dream that you have, and pray and have faith that God will do the rest.
Ray,
Excellent.
you also had your hand up. Do you have something to ask?
Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, so it's not really a question, but I just wanted to encourage her because it's not every day that we see women doing this kind of things, even like the hardship she was having. She went through so many things. Like even when she wasn't having money, she didn't give up. Just like that, she continued like working hard and everything. Usually, it's just like men doing this type of things, and just seeing women, that's really, really, really good. And I totally support her. Good luck.
I appreciate that so
Yeah.
much. You know, and it comes to show that, like I said, when I first started, right, the thought came to my mind, there was no such thing as female boxing. It was unheard of, you know. And
Mhm.
then, you know, but I really believe that God put that in my heart that that's what I wanted to do. And it goes to show that it doesn't matter, be it male or female, if there's
Mhm.
something you want to do, you know, and it's there, and you set up your mind that that's what you want to do, you go forward. You go forward with everything. Don't let anyone stop you or say that you can't do it. Right now, I am 50 years old. I'll be 51 this year, and I'm still currently boxing. I'm ranked number one in the world with the WBC at 154. And a lot of people, be it friends, my family, a lot of people try to discourage me from to stop fighting because of my age. But see, age does not define me. If you're
Mhm.
capable physically, mentally, of doing whatever it is that you set your mind out to do, then you do it. Don't let anyone take you out of that mindset of saying no, you can't do it. Who are they to say what you can and what you can't do? They didn't make your body. Only God knows, and God made your mind, you know. And also the comment also as far as financial. Like I said, in the beginning, I had a job to support what I was trying to do. But it came a time where I lost my job. I didn't have a job. I got laid off. And I'm like, what am I gonna do now? And God made a way. This a good friend of mine introduced me to a promoter that didn't have any females on his on his team. And he didn't even believe in female boxing. He thought that it was nonsense. But when he met me and he saw me training and he saw me spar against a good friend of mine, which is a guy, and he saw that I was tough and that I can hang in there and I can do what I said I wanted to do, he signed me. And so for a year, I didn't have to work. All my job was to eat, train, and box, and I got paid to do those things. So if you really want to do something, like I said, you work hard and you do your best at doing what you can do, and God will do the rest.
Amen. Thank you.
All right, thank you, my friend. Oh my gosh, what an amazing speaker you were. Thank you very much, Chevelle. I mean,
Thank
it's
you
you're
for having
really
me.
you're really encouraging us because some of us struggle with things. Kevin, shared that finances, but one of the things that you said when it comes to lack of finances, that you did what you knew how to do. Okay, even though you had a 9 to 5, or you had a job, and sometimes you have to take a job doing something maybe you don't want to do so that you can make a living doing something you want to do. Okay,
Right.
that's going to be key to us when we're trying to make. We got to make our ends meet over here. Yes, it may not be ideal, but we got to stay busy doing this so that we can raise the money along those lines. And then, you know, probably the major thing that caused you to be successful was you had a plan, but then, like you said, you carried through. Okay, you carried through on it. You were tenacity, I think, is the word that you use. You were just staying at it, and that's what we have to be as a whole. Okay, uh, I heard you say, okay, you got knocked down and you got back up. You got knocked down, you got back up. You got knocked down and you got back up. And I bet that wasn't the only 3 times that you got knocked down as far as, fight, right? Because in real life, we get knocked down, right?
Right. Right.
We get knocked down in real life, and we have to have that same determination. Part of what I think helped you stay there also was that you had a clear vision of what you wanted. You knew that you wanted to be a world champion. You had already put that into your mind. You were going to be a world champion. And because you were so locked in on what you were going to do, you could overcome the other obstacles. And I think that a lot of us in other countries or people that are struggling financially to be able to do something, we have to continue to get up when we get knocked down. A key thing is, you know, there's a play on these words, resources. A lot of times if we don't have money, we say we don't have those resources that we need. But bottom line is that we need to be resourceful, okay? We can be out of resources, but you can't be out of resourcefulness. Right, Cameron? And I'm speaking specifically to you, brother, because I know that we have got to use our resourcefulness, okay, to help us to overcome our lack that we're basically going to have in a lot of different areas, okay? Once you had accomplished being hang on a second, I've got somebody on the other line here who's watching with us too, and that's where the sound. Brother, can I get you to mute your phone? Can I get you to mute your phone? Or you know what I can do? I can mute mine, I think. All right, there. I apologize there. He had trouble getting in, so he called me on my cell phone, and so now we've got him watching over here. Everybody, say hello to everybody real quick. Brother, wave to everybody.
Hi.
He said something about it, didn't catch it all there. Anyhow, he's been trying to join us. Well, thank you, Chevelle. We appreciate it so very much. You're a real inspiration, and I know for sure that we're going to take this video and clip it up, and it's going to be watched at a lot of different times because the things that you shared is important for all of us to learn and all of us to pursue there. I'm going to turn over to my sweetheart there, Miss Angela Argery Reynolds, and she's so surprised. I'm getting called on here. But actually, I met Chevelle through Miss Angela. She got to be friends there first. And so, Angela, unmute yourself real quick and share a little bit with us.
Oh, boy. Well, I met Chevelle a few years back. She appeared at the Writer's Loft, and because she was working on writing a screen, you were doing something to make a movie with. And I introduced her, of course, to the world of public speaking and professional speaking, and she took right off. She definitely took right off. But I did get to train with her one time, and she absolutely killed me in the gym. But yeah, she's a great person. I love your heart, Chevelle. You got a beautiful heart. And I miss seeing you since COVID hit. I haven't seen you since. And I see you're at, you're going to make,
I see you. Writer's Law.
Oh, okay. Well, we're on Zoom now because of COVID, but I see you train at the gym I used to train at. So maybe we'll run into each other there one day. But, oh man, I know you are amazing. You are such an amazing person, and kudos to you, man. You have really taken off. And I'm 50, I'm getting ready to be 56 next week. So that just inspires me just to keep going, keep going, keep going. I'm not too old. And the message was perfect for me as well. But yeah, wow. Congratulations on all your accomplishments. And I hear about you all the time through the speaking world. And
thank you so much.
I want to be like Chevelle.
But, I don't know if you saw my my short movie that I did. Papa Was a Rolling Stone by Chevelle Hallback.
I heard it was out. I did hear it was out. I need to go back and watch it. I probably have seen clips of it, but I need to watch it from start to finish. That was when I first met you, that was what you were working on.
Yes. It's a story about forgiveness and letting go.
Oh, that's powerful stuff right there.
Rolling Stone. And
yes, it's
where can we get this at?
If you pull it up on YouTube, you want to say Chevelle Hallback's Papa Was a Rolling Stone, because you know it's a name of a song as well. So, but if you put Chevelle Hallback's Papa Was a Rolling Stone, then the short movie will pull up, and it's like 17 minutes long.
Oh, wonderful, wonderful.
Very good.
We'll definitely be watching it today.
Yeah.
Matter of fact,
I
what I'm
Yeah.
going to do right now is I'm going to take and put it in the chat. So I'm going to pull it up on this other screen and I'm going to put it in the chat here.
All right. Yeah, I wrote it, I act in it, and I also was the executive producer. So.
Good for you. Wow, wow, wow. It just goes to show when you put your mind to something, you can make it happen.
Yeah.
Make it happen. Very good. Well, sweetheart, I'm going to get off this platform and let you have it back. And you're on mute.
It's hard to hear me when I'm on mute. I've noticed that.
Yeah, a little bit.
Papa is a Rolling Stone. There we go. It is 8 o'clock. Papa is a Rolling Stone right here.
And now you have the trailer, and then you also have the movie. So make sure you click the movie. The movie is 17 minutes long.
Yes. Oh, I got 1 more minute and then I can skip, add, boom. And here is the, okay guys, so if y'all want to see this movie here, which would be pretty darn cool, let's do copy and we'll go into our chat area and we're going to send this to everybody. You want to take and grab this real quick when you can here. Okay, so everybody should have it in their chat at this particular point. We're all going to have a bunch of unanswered questions, aren't we? Wow, that just shows you can even write a movie, star in a movie if you want to. Okay, you can do any darn thing that you want to accomplish, which is really, really amazing. Okay, it's almost like, okay, Stanley, I'm 69. What the hell have you done all your life? Queen, I see you had your hand up there again. Did you have something you wanted to say real quick?
No, I was just cheering her.
You're just cheering her on, huh? Yep.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You can write your own movie and produce things, and it all starts with a dream. It really starts in your heart, right?
Yes.
It's that thing that's in your heart. It's that dream. It's that desire. It's that passion. And then, like you started off, it's the mindset. You have to have that right mindset so that you can push forward and accomplish the things you want.
Yes.
Well, we have spent our hour and we greatly appreciate you being with us and you sharing that. Does anybody have some last comments they want to share real quick before we call it a day? I see some appreciation being sent there in the chat rooms. I know everybody has really enjoyed you being here. Closing words for us?
Yes. Also, I have, if you want to contact me, I have social media. I'm on Facebook, Chevelle Hallback at Facebook, and also Instagram, Chevelle Hallback on Instagram as well. I also speak, keynote speaker, motivational speaker. You can reach me at at www.chevellehallback.com, and you can inquire about my speaking on there. And just want you all to remember that mindset is everything. And passion, tenacity, persistence, keep those things along with prayer and faith. And there's nothing, I mean nothing, that you can't do.
That's right. All right. Well, thank you very much, guys. We appreciate everybody being here. Conrad,
Yes.
tell everybody how they get in touch with Educational Missions real quick here before we go.
About our educational missions, you can also find us at educationalmissions.org. Though I also wanted to appreciate Chevelle. I don't know if I pronounced the name well because says Chevelle. It's like S and we pronounce it as Che. So the pronunciation may not matter. I decided to send in the chat room the spelling, the real spelling of the name, and I think I wrote it well because I know here in Uganda, your accent is quite different. I think it's because I'm not so used to you. I'll need to concentrate to hear whatever you're saying, but I can hear Angela, I can hear Stanley, but I remember also in the beginning when I met them, I would still first concentrate, make sure that at least I can get their accent. But all is well, and at least the video is recorded. We can have the video edited and posted on our YouTube channel. I'll as well share with you the link when it's ready. I'll share it with Angela and Stanley, and I'm sure you're my friend because I sent you a friend request and then you replied back. So I can as well chat with you on Messenger. But we are really so humbled, and as
Thank you.
young people, we are learning from you. I'm so surprised that you're 50 and you can still lift those heavy metals. But anyway, that is just a passion that you took up, and we really wish you all the best. All the best in whatever you're doing. Thank you. Thank you so very much.
Thank you so much. You have a great day. Thank you so much.
All right. Thank you, guys. We're going to close it up for this week, but tell your friends and let's try to have as many here as we can next week each time. I'm not sure who the guest speaker is going to be yet. Maybe it could be one of you guys if you have something really on your heart and share. I know that educationalmissions.org, we have a form in there for you to fill out, sort of like a survey, it's going to say, and you can tell us the things that you would like to share if you would like to share with us, and we'll get you scheduled in here. Okay. So guys, with that, I'm going to say y'all be blessed. Okay. Make sure you go get that book, Think to Prosper, if you haven't yet, and utilize it for all you're doing. So, okay, guys.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Bye.